All right.
Star 106.5 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The time is 4 o'clock when the nation stops to free the mind, free the mind. It already shows on the airwaves that I might free your mind. If they haven't done, you won't find none free your mind. From the ghetto to the office, hustlers to the sky. From the views to parliament, all the freedom of time is for I got to free my mind. Really, it's you. Time is for I got to free my mind. Really, it's you. It's about that time. I free my mind. It's about that time. I free my mind. It's about that time. I free my mind. It's about that time. I free my mind.
Star 106 hits a pleasant Tuesday. Good afternoon to each and all, and welcome to your Trapsy Tuesday edition of the show, brought to you courtesy of the Cleveland Clinic. Thank you to Click. Continue to share the wire. Thank you to Pinder Tile. One time for the Central Bank of the Bahamas. Thank you to Paradise Games, KFC, and Pinder. I said Pinder Tile. Shouts out to my Pinder Tile crew. Locked and loaded. Good to have you in my company. We are 106.5 on the FM band, channel 976 on cable, and of course to the Facebook faithful. It's a pleasant Tuesday. Good afternoon to each and all. All right. It is election day in the U.S. Y'all see I'm dressed in the colors. Let me see. Show you the white. I got the white on too. All right. Shouts out to everybody anxiously awaiting the results. Yeah, we're gonna know within a few. All right, so hang tight. But nevertheless, I got a topic for you guys. Boy, integrity is a serious thing, and perception is another very serious thing. So I have a really interesting story to tell today of a young lady who, back in her high school days, I won't say which high school she went to here in New Providence. She was like nerd, like real talk. You know, she wore braces, big thick glasses, blind from that time. Gally was blind from that time, but nevertheless, not the nice. And this, I don't know what school is like now, but you know, weave was a no. So whatever hair God bless you with, that's what you had to rock. And yep, that's what she did. She had to rock. I guess we'd call that picky head, for lack of a better expression, right? But what she used to do, just to evade everybody and the name calling and the bullying, she used to immerse herself into reading. So she would always be found in the library. She read books upon books, and she utilized her time while everybody else was, frolicking around during playtime or recess or lunchtime, whatever you want to call it. She was educating herself. She was an avid reader. Her vocabulary was super extensive as a result of that, and did absolutely well in school, but just was known as, I guess, the nerd. All right. Fast forward. Well, no, not yet. So while in school, there was a young man who was the star of the school. Why? Because he was big in track. And when the people in sports, whether it be track, whether it be baseball, softball, whatever it is, whether it is that you're just scholastically inclined, um, you would be the shining light in your school. And this young man actually was the track star. He was the one that everybody knew. He definitely ran all races. He represented the school well, and with track in particular, in high school, it bring all the girls. All the girls want to be with the track star, and that he was. Um, she had her eye on him. She had her eye on him, all right. But through those glasses, she knew that he would never, ever, ever, ever give her not even a side glance, not even through his peripheral vision, that he would even give her the time of day. And that's how it was for True. You know, they graduated together, and this, she kind of had her eye on him from grade 10, she says. And by the time they got to grade 12 and graduating, still no play. All right, he never even used to say morning, so she knew it wouldn't happen. She knew he would never give her a chance. And they left high school, and of course life begins then. Everybody go their separate ways. Who going to college, who's starting on to work will work. um that's just the way it is. Who was going off was going off. Who was doing back in the day COB, then it was COB, and their paths never ever 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 crossed again. Now, mind you, she left Nassau, moved to the US, went to college, and the rest is real history. She's done well with herself in marketing, got a serious degree in marketing, working for a very, 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 very big company. I don't want to call. I don't. I'm told I can't divulge all of that information, but she's doing very well for herself in the U.S. As a marketing exec, and is making beaucoup money. So she changed the braces into a beautiful smile. She changed those glasses into contacts. She changed that frumpy way of dressing into a very sophisticated style. And now she's doing well. All right. Now, one day she goes into, I guess, what would be the equivalent of our fresh market. I guess it could have been Whole Foods. Whole Foods in the US of A. And she's looking at some, what they call Hask avocados. All right. She's looking at the Hask avocados. And behind her is a voice that says, "Girl, we don't eat them. In the Bahamas, we eat real pear," is what the person said, right? Because the Hass avocados are those very small ones. I just saw something on the news, I think it was yesterday, that says those are genetically modified. They're not even real. They're not natural as such. And the voice behind her was a Bahamian accent saying, "Girl, we don't eat those in the Bahamas. We just eat real pear." And when she turned around, ladies and gentlemen, guess who it was? After all these years, it was the track star. Yep, sure enough. And he called her by name, and she totally tripped out. Because remember now, during their whole high school life, now what is the probability of her being in Whole Foods, right, in the US many moons later, and this dude being in the US, obviously in the same state, right? And running into this person at the same time, right? So she turns around and it's him, and her jaw drop, and I guess she still had that sparkle in the eye because he looked good, she looked great, and she said to him, "How did you recognize me?" And he said, "Minus the glasses and the braces, you look the same." And she's like, "Is that a good thing?" He's like, "I could," he said, "Looking at you now, obviously you don't look like what you did in high school because of all those additives, but you are absolutely gorgeous. And I'm happy for the opportunity to have run into you today." So, of course, I don't know. Like, I guess butterflies fly in and flapping their wings and whatever. she was really very ecstatic and very excited to see him. So of course they're standing there discussing these avocados, and he says to her, "Would you like to do dinner?" Now, what y'all think? She said yes. She readily accepted. I think living in her past, living in her high school years, in her head, this would have been a dream come true. Because why? Here it is, the guy that she was hoping would even give her a morning, is now inviting her to dinner in the evening. So she accepts, and they set a date. It wasn't for like the next day or the same day or anything like that. So she had time to prepare. Um, she did an extra glam, and everything was beautiful. They set this date to have dinner, and indeed they did. Stick around to hear what happened at the dinner because it gets Tropsy. It's a Tropsy Tuesday, okay? It happens right here on your hit station. We are Star 106 Hit. Stay tuned. More to come.
Cleveland Clinic is recognized at
Say, where's the clip? Why y'all can't just accept the story and love the story for what the story is? Why y'all gotta be like that? Why y'all got to be like that? So here comes the Tropsy in the Tuesday. Wait for the Tropsy in the Tuesday. All right. I love the story. This seems to be too good. See, that's the problem with y'all. Y'all always don't full stop and right answers. But yeah. Not the Jerry Jones makeover though. Um, T-Pain, buy you a drink. Yeah, let me bust off a little of that. Gal and fellas, boy, this one. Woohoo! Is T-Pain singing?
Yeah.
Yep. He's taking her out, buying her a drink. He's a runner. He's a track star. Yeah, you fun. Hey, Kevon, you are the best. You hear me? You are the best. Here we go. He saw her back in high school, but had a reptile attack. All right, here we go. He's a runner, he's a track star. Not out in my head. Kevon.
Tipsy, say the six song. You a drink.
Star 106 hits. T-Pain right there would buy you a drink. He was doing more than that. They were going to a very, very, very exquisite restaurant. So, of course, like I said, before they left the Hask avocado display, he invited this young lady to dinner. He didn't say where as yet. Like I said, it didn't happen right away. So he told her closer to the date, he would let her know what restaurant he was going to take her to. So during the course of the week, he texted her and gave her the name of the restaurant. And so she's telling her friends that she's going on a date with somebody from the Bahamas that she went to high school with. And as long as she was living in that particular state, she has never been to this restaurant simply because of its price point. All right. Never been to this restaurant because it was a bit too high. Out of her budget, though she was a very successful marketer, she just never thought, excuse me, to spend that kind of money. So, of course, she's bragging to her girlfriends that she's going to this particular restaurant, invited by her old high school crush that never crushed on her, but nevertheless, nothing before it's time. So they go to this restaurant, y'all, right? And, like I said, she's never been to. So as she walks in, she's taking it all in and she's looking around. And of course, when they got to the menu, after sitting down and examining the menu, she's thinking to herself, should I be very mindful? Should I be, very cautious as to what it is I order just in case at the end of the night he says to me that I need to pay the bill? Whatever the case is, right? So she says this. So he says to her while she's peering at the menu, he says, listen to me. I see like you're a little apprehensive to order, but let me just assure you that whatever your little, and his exact words, whatever your little heart wants, please order to your content. Right. And I was like, whoa, that must be really, really nice. So she's looking at it, still want to be a lady. She's not trying to, she's not trying to overeat. She's not trying to over order. She's trying to be mindful still because she's a lady. So she looks at the main entrees and she orders something nice. She ordered no appetizers and she was quite fine with a non-alcoholic beverage. All right, so let me read some of these comments because y'all trying to guess what's happening here. Marisa says, I'm waiting for the dramatic pause in this story. She also goes on to say, is he the restaurant owner? No, he's not. She ain't had to pay the bill, or did they go Dutch? No. Y'all guessing. Oh, right. So goes on to say, does his wife own the restaurant? No. So you can let that part go. Morris is being invited to the gingerbread house and offered all the sweets. All right. Raisa said that soda was right. Warrior, good afternoon to you. That didn't work out too well for Hansel and sister. All right. So the story continues. They are now fine dining. You want to hear the story? They are fine dining. All right. And well, listen to it while you drive.
Okay.
So they're fine dining, having great conversation. I want you to believe that in her wildest dreams, she never thought, because he was a little bit arrogant back in school here in Nassau, being the big track star. He wouldn't look at girls like her. He didn't really prove himself to be really scholastically inclined, great on the track. But in having conversations with him now over dinner, some many moons later, right? She finds him to be intellectually very, very attractive, right? So they're talking, and she's like, you know what? Can I be honest with you? I was physically attracted to you back in school, but I never dreamed that you was this sharp, is her exact words, you know. She said, he did admit though. Boris says, I listened to see if he was trying to put another mark on his scoreboard or if he actually had positive plans. He did like her too. Well, I'm going to tell you now, listen up. He admitted to her that he was never attracted to her, but he always admired how smart she was, right? So, but because of, I guess, peer pressure, he's a big track star back in school. You would not be seen with the school nerd because she wasn't even just the class nerd. She was the school nerd. She was that girl that everybody knew. I mean, come awards day, she clean up, right? You wouldn't expect nothing less from her. Glasses, yay thick, braces, you know, no hairstyle while everybody else was smoothing. But back in the day, I don't know if they was smoothing them edges and things like they doing now, right? But she didn't have the looks. She didn't have the looks, but she definitely had the book smart. So he told her that he admired her book smarts, and but he did tell her that he would have never given her a chance back then. He was very honest, and she was cool with it, you know. But he said, looking at her now, he said he just couldn't believe what she blossomed into. So of course, again, back to dinner now. They're having a wonderful time. They're having great conversation, lots of laughs, lots of glances and staring into eyes. And at one point he rests his hand on top of hers, like as Bahamians, we're very expressive. So, we talk and we like to touch. So he's saying, yeah, and he put his hand on hers. And she said she felt those butterflies all over again. Now, of course, as Coach would always say, ask the real questions. All right. Who or what are you now in this day and age? What are you doing? Right. Turns out Mr. Track Star didn't complete his journey in track, but was a successful businessman. He was doing some stuff, right? He was doing some stuff, just not on the track, and that's cool. Life evolves, things happen. So they're talking about their careers and the fact that she was single. Turns out, ladies and gentlemen, he too is now single. All right, so it's looking real good. He recently had divorced some 16 months ago, and null and void. He's clear. He's single and ready to mingle. So it's looking good. It's looking real good. It's looking promising because he had just recently moved into this particular state from another one. So what is the probability of all of this now looking good? He has no kids. She has no kids. She's not married. He's now recently divorced, and things are looking good. So now everybody's trying to figure out what happened, just like she didn't complete her journey in nerdism. No, yeah, she totally blossomed into something so very beautiful. All right, Warrior says all those ticks on those check boxes. There's that one checkbox that are X going in. Absolutely. Marisa said if he proposed, no, he didn't. Right? So, of course, now this is so awkward, and maybe one of you or two of you could relate. But while eating and seeing that things were going so beautiful, because she too, like y'all, was waiting for the big bomb, like to hear, he married or whatever it is. But guess what, guys? She felt it. She felt like something was wrong. She also felt nervous to the point where here it is now, you're on this really nice date and your stomach start doing the bubble, right? So here it is now, she's asking to be excused to go to the bathroom. So she goes to the bathroom, takes her purse and everything. She goes to the bathroom and she calls her lifeline, her bestie. And she's telling the bestie on the phone that she can't believe that all of this is happening. And she's now in the bathroom, stuck in the cubicle, having this conversation with her and wants to know what should she do, because here it is now, she's in the bathroom. She wants to use the bathroom. Her stomach is doing the do, and she is now stuck in there just releasing because nerves have taken over. No, Tamara, he's not gay. Oh my God, I'm loving these responses, right? Oh Lord, everybody has that bestie that knows all the files. Indeed. Who could pull the files on you? Yeah, exactly. So she's now having the belly breakdown. She's in the bathroom and she's taking a little long, right? And she feels so badly about it, but she's on the phone talking to Bestie and telling Bestie how everything has progressed during the course of the evening and how happy she is. And, of course, us behemoths, this got to be God, right? This got to be God. Look at that. What's the probability of this dude, however many years later, now on my run? So they're having a little girl giggle and she's in the bathroom. She's released her body. What's this one? She's talking to the detective. She calls a bestie. Listen, so the body's released and she good. She washes up her hands and she heads back to the table. While walking to the table, she notices that he does. I mean, her eye catch it. So I don't know if he didn't see when she was walking back from the bathroom, but she saw exactly what he did before she made her presence felt back at the table. What did he do? Stick around. Free your mind on a Trap Seat Tuesday right here on the Star.
For a big purchase or occasion?
Yeah. Woo! Jesus. Glory be to God. This story is hilarious. Okay, I can tell you right now. Right now. Yeah. Jack, you following the story too? All of y'all on edge. Oh Lord, what's the probability of my lawyer saying he dropped something in her drink? No, he did not. He must take something that he slipped something in her food or drink. Here we go.
Love hits all day. Star 6 hits.
Star 106 hits, welcome back. Trap Seat Tuesday. Y'all know how we do it on a Tuesday. Shouts out to the son of the nation. Shouts out to everybody locked and loaded. Of course, on Facebook, y'all are giving me life right now. All of these comments. So, of course, the guess that he slipped something in her drink. Kevon say he skip out on the bill. No, he was still at the table, Kevon. No. Raisa said he slipped something in her soda. No. Warrior of Wisdom says he was talking to other women. Not at all. Nothing of the sort. No, he did not take a blue pill. No, none of the above. None of the above. So y'all ready to hear what happened now? So she's walking out of the bathroom and she notices that he plucks a strand of hair from his head and places it in his food. Okay? He places it in his food. So she comes back and she gives him that very bewildered look like, what in God's name are you doing? Like, dude, we're in this classy restaurant. You're a successful business man, and so am I, a successful businesswoman. You've chosen this very exquisite restaurant, and now obviously you're trying to skip the bill. So guess what he does? He calls the waitress over and he tells the waitress that he's very, very, very unhappy with the fact that there is hair in his food. And of course, fine dining, he starts, as in true Bahamian fashion, he starts to talk loud so that everybody could hear that there's food in his food. I mean, sorry, hair in his food. And the waitress is trying to calm him down, trying to keep quiet, trying to keep him quiet so that the other dining guests don't, hear. And she apologizes profusely and says to him, "Do you want your meal to be replaced?" And he's like, no, I don't even want nothing. I don't want nothing from this place no more, right? And she says, "Okay, well, we will just comp. You know what? We'll just comp." We'll just comp both your meals. And she's trying her endeavor best to get them out of the restaurant because Bahamians, we can't whisper. I don't care how long you've been out of the Bahamas. You Bahamian, you can't whisper. All right. So while they get outside now, she says to him, "What in God's name was that?" He's like, "Girl, I found a very, very neat way. I can't make this up, son. Right? I found a very neat way to dine in these fine restaurants straight across the state of wherever that state is. I can't tell you where they were, right?" And she looks at him and she's like, "Oh, wow." Like, he could tell that she was not impressed at all. But he says, anyway, he walks her to her car and he says, "I will call you and we can hit up such and such another restaurant." He calls another fine dining restaurant. Okay, so y'all know, homegirl with class and style and grace, and as elegant as she was, she blocked him. She absolutely blocked him so that she could process what in God's name just happened. Now, the question for you guys, as she's asking, because okay, so he did something really, really shady. Does that make him? Does that give off true red flags for him? Do you think she should talk to him? Do you think she should explain her disgust with the situation? Or should she just cross him off? Y'all talk to me. 3288164, 3288165. You can hit me up on Facebook right now. For y'all who have my WhatsApp, you can WhatsApp me as well. All right. But he made it quite clear that this is something he obviously has done before. And he does it for fine, for all fine dining restaurants. So this person who texts me says, "Red, that flag is psychedelic in colors." So that means no, she should have no other conversation with this guy. So he looks like a trickster. All right. So I know people, like when I grew up in the US, I know people who, and y'all know these people too, who buy shoes, they wear them, they put tape at the bottom and they return them. Always ways to beat the system. We know those persons who buy some elegant dress, they keep the tag, they tuck the tag in, they wear it to the red rose ball. I ain't calling no names, but some of y'all do that, right? And then y'all air it out and y'all return that bad boy to the shop. Why is this any different? Talk to me. All right. So this one says, good that she blocked him. This one says, "Run, girl, run." This one says, big, big red flags. That's probably why he's divorced. Warrior says, "I don't think she should go into any more restaurants with him." Thank you, Vandisha. Run, baby girl, run far away. So y'all don't know people who do. I'm sure y'all have that one or two friends, whether here in the Bahamas or in the US, that find ways to beat the system always. Does that make them a really bad person? Or is it that maybe your influence or maybe you're chastising them about their actions could actually make a change? Sometimes some people just don't know. Some people need scolding. As old as you be, you are not always right. Tamara says, I have no friend that does that. Um, Kivon says, I figured he was skipping out on the tab. Yeah, he did, but it's the way that he did it. So Warrior says, so question, does she go back to pay for her part of the food since she didn't agree with his actions? Now this is where integrity comes in. I think the whole shock of it all, because remember now, she can't divulge that information that he did what he did. So she had to just roll with it. They comped both meals. All right. Are you suggesting that she goes back and says, well, nothing was wrong with my food. Let me pay? Is that what you're suggesting, Warrior? Talk to me. Tamara, what you saying? Um, what happens here? Is this where integrity should should prevail? This one says he is the trickster. Wouldn't be long before she becomes the tricktor and tricky. My Lord of mercy. What should she do? Remember now, she's blocked him, but he does know where she works. Now, you don't want him to come around her job, asking for her, and then he's turned down every time, and then you hope that at one point he'll get the picture and just disappear. There are chances where he may not do so. This one says he's dishonest by nature, so she will become the victim sooner or later. Raisa says her integrity should have prevailed since she knew he was a liar. So, how many of you, by show of hands, would go back in that restaurant now? To thine own self be true, tell the truth, and shame the devil. How many of you was going back in the restaurant and telling them that you want to pay for your food? Hi, Claudine. Claudine says, I would trip out. Hashtag mental health. Sean, good afternoon to you. Says, we know people like that, but we don't hang with them. Okay, fair enough. Warrior says, those places have cameras. Oh. Then people will talk to management about the incident that took place. The management will view that camera and blacklist him. And because she's in the camera with him, she don't want them to blacklist her too. Kivon says she couldn't go back in that restaurant because she done blow up the bathroom. Really, Kivon? Oh, God. Marisa said, I was paying for mine before we left. I think, like I said, because she saw him do it, you've never been in that position where you're kind of shocked, you're dumbfounded, you're not thinking clearly. I think now that she's removed herself from the equation and thinking clearly, she may actually think along those lines. But at that particular instant, I don't think she was thinking to go back into that restaurant and pay. So, what are you going to do? What should she do? He knows where she works. Do you think she should call him, have a conversation with him, tell him that, she's not interested in him anymore based on his actions, and make it be known to him that what he's doing or has done and probably will continue to do is wrong, and probably to show him that whole idea of being seen on camera based on the type of restaurant that it was. Warrior said he's lucky he in with certain types of ladies here in Nassau who call a spade a spade. They tell the waitress up front, he put here in the food in front of his face. My Lord, my Lord, my Lord. Well, that's what it is for now. He's blocked. She's asking what she should do. So from you guys, final answers. I'm sure she's listening because I did tell her I was going to tell this story today. All right. So final answers real quick. Should she just keep him blocked, knowing that he may show up at her job? Should she just be totally transparent and very honest with him and let him know that based on his action, he is not her type? And let sleeping dogs lie. What do y'all say? All right. So here ends the reading for now. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Moral of the story. Be honest. All right. Honesty is definitely still the best policy. And Anybody you left in high school, anybody you knew in your past, please, please, please don't expect the same them. I mean, he was pompous and he was arrogant back in the day, but you know what? People do change and you give people the benefit of the doubt. But in this particular story, yeah, not much has changed. All right. Top of the hour, 5 o'clock. Or let me read Warriors real quick. I think she's on the right path. Continue that way, but his choices of restaurants is going to shrink fast. She trying to go out with him and wondering why they can't go to that certain restaurant. Yeah, well, I don't think she's gonna go out with him anymore. But I think my suggestion is to be honest. Just don't block him. Tell him straight up. I ain't like what you do. That ain't my style. And let him know that you're not interested. All right. Top of the hour, 5 o'clock. Get ready for your drive at 5 comes your way on a I don't know what kind of Tuesday, if it's going to be turned up or if it's a take it easy Tuesday, but DJ AI on the way right here on the hit station. We're Star 106 Hits.
Find out a lot with the new KFC Bacon Ranch Sandwich from its 100% premium 120.
No. See, a lot of times, Kevon, when you tell a waitress or a waiter or a restaurant that here and they food, they take your word for it. They take it in the back and they look. Trust me, they look. They may not see it at first glance. They might see a roach, the wing, and a roach and think quicker than they see the hair, but they will go and examine. I promise you. I wonder what else he tries this with. I know it ain't just a restaurant. Suppose examine them follicles. Say, sir, that's your hair. Oh Lord Jesus. Real talk. Real talk. But a lot of times those restaurants, they don't do the CSI work to say, well, whose hair it is, or if go look in the kitchen to see if anybody in the kitchen matched this description. They do that because then, of course, the chef's hair is supposed to be covered, all that good stuff. But yeah, the payments is go away and carry on, but sir, only you have wet maybe in this place. You mean dry and PC? Man, I leak. See you later.